ua mau ke au ka Aina I ka pono Hawaii malama ia na iwi pulama ia na kua.
Mahalo for everybody who took the time out of their precious Saturday to come. And those who are getting your food, continue getting your food. I'm just going to do a little preliminary. You can multitask in this section because we are going to pray because it's all about God. The story is about God and his love for us. The land issue, you have to realize, by the way, I'm Michael Kumu Huli, Native Hawaiian cultural practitioner of Lapa Auke Kai o Limu, yeah? Pulled by my maternal Hawaiian grandfather, taught Hawaiian medicine from 4 years old to the day he died in 1983. And the pathway is a pathway of relationship with Keokua and family, because you're born into a family, and then you have friends, and you go to school and schoolmates, and then you get into confraternities. So your life is always relationships. And in the relationships, there are process. The state, the federal government is all about process. You don't do the process right, go back, start all over again. So life has a pattern and model. We all must obey. Even Jesus, as a little boy, had to be obedient. The God of all had to be obedient to his parents. No, what are you doing in the temple? I'm doing God's work. Well, sorry, thank you. You're doing God's work, but you got to come home now. So the three parts that are in play in human nature is what we desire. I desire, I desire. That's black. That is the male. That is the past. The male of God created in thick darkness, let there be light, the female. Father, male, Waihini, Holy Spirit, God the Father. And in the light, they meet together, and where they touch is Kane Waihini, making the orange red, the baby of creation. From darkness came light, and when they made it, it's creation. Past, present, future. Akacord, Papa, connected to the Father, Heavenly Dad. Piko, Mom, umbilical cord, moku au hau, to the beginning of time. Ma'i, the future generation yet to come. Father, mother, child, all one. Triality, not duality. So the prayer is Mahalo Keokua, please come, Holy Spirit. Be amongst your children to guide them and lead them in your way for your purpose, because they were given your eternal flame. They're so important they don't even know it. Because without them, your plan cannot come through fruition. And a lot of people have not discovered what is the meaning and purpose of that flame. The process is so important because the bait is the end goal, the end game, what you desire, yeah? That is to focus you to get your okole where you need to go. But when you get what you desire, you find out it's almost empty because it wasn't what you thought it was going to be. Whether it's land, whether it's title, whether it's anything, it is the process that causes you to grow, because you can't do it without dad. It just is not possible. Because only dad can supersede what you were never around to find out in your genealogy took place. And if you no ask, you no get. It's that simple. Go God's way, everything be A-okay. That's my teacher, Auntie Alice. Horse like water, horse come to water. Okay. It is so simple, but so true. And it is so forgotten, like numbering your pages. So if you are to orientate yourself, a lot of us carry guilt for what we were told that we must do that is not even our job. And we bust ourselves up for nothing. And it's because we never asked the Creator, why did you create me? Why did you create Hawaii? The orientation of your compass has to be in the truth. There are so many people saying, this is south, this is north. It's not. Inside of you is a compass. And you can tell when someone stands in front of you and they're giving you a used car salesman pitch. It's like a bayonet to your stomach. Oh, this is so heavy. Ugh, I feel sick. Every time this person is talking, I want to throw up. Or there's a tickle inside of you and you want to know more. So to orientate this class, you have to know the purpose and reason from God. I took the time last year, after being like every Kanaka, where is this all leading? Because in every Kanaka family, Keakua gave in my private prayer, he said there was a Kanaka man who shouted out to the world, I'm going to be a mahi'ai and I'm going to farm my land, and did nothing. Why? Hakaka puhiva at home. Fight, couldn't even get out the front door. And that's our current condition today, because it's not, when you get in on it and you have to do the fight, it's killer that we're fighting DLNR, the government, the fake state, everybody. But then your family comes up and gets a big brick and says, you can't do that, boom. And another one comes up and boom. It's like, wow, the no-win scenario. No matter what I try to do, it's like when I was 300 pounds, my mom nagged me, your health, you'll never make it. So then I go on a diet and she's trying to feed me all this good food. So this is the killer of life. They tell you you got to do this, and then they sabotage you when you start to do it. And so you get ripped and torn apart, and you curse God because it's his fault. Because I didn't ask to come here, and this BS that is being laid, the bricks that are being laid at my door, are only crushing me and making me more angry. So I want to set fire to everything. Anybody who knows what I'm talking about, the devil's poetry, F you, you know. Because they're defining you as not mattering. They're defining you as having no power. So let's jump to Keakua. Keakua, what is the purpose? Why did you create Hawaii? He said, I put my hand into the center of the earth and I pulled out Hawaii for my purpose. Keakua, what was your purpose? I created the 7 islands and the whole island archipelago to heal the ocean, to heal the fresh water, to heal the land, and to heal the air, the sky. That is the purpose of Ha, my eternal breath, Vai'i, the water of life is in the water in the breath of God. He renews everything all over again. Aloha, alo, in the presence of my Vaiha, my divine, everlasting water breath that brings all creation into being. So that is the orientation of why. Because a lot of Kanakas today don't know what does it mean to be a true Kanaka. Because the non-Hawaiians are trying to define who you are, what the practice is. They don't have Hawaiian, they don't have moku au, they don't even know the olis and chants, and it's illegitimate to try to control what they see. Even the missionaries saw, we can't take the land if they're moving stones with their minds. And we cannot stop it when they call their anti-mo'o to clear the springs. It's not in the good book. So to do it, we have to work of the devil, shut down the cultural practice, which Keakua he created for his mission. So here's why did you create the Hawaiian nation, the Hawaiian people? So he said, I created the Hawaiian people for my purpose. He said, look at the world, okay? Now drill through Egypt and the other side, where the Holy Land and everything on the other side is. He says they both are one. Both are one for my plan. So the lost tribe, back in 1600 BC, there was a lost tribe of Jacob that was called to come to Hawaii 4,400 years ago, 2,100 years before Wake and Papa, because not only did he pull the islands out, but he wanted to jump into the moku auhau from Abraham into the Kanaka, which did happen 2,100 years in the moku auhau of 900 67 generations from Ki'i and La'i. So God not only created it, but he's infusing himself in the mokuauhau. What does that mean? Focus. I created the Hawaiian people to learn how to heal the ocean, to heal the fresh water, to heal the land, and to heal the air. How do we know that to be true in the real? Kamehameha 3, ua mau keia aina I kapono, I ke akua. The life of the land is not perpetuated in the righteousness of man because man is not righteous. If I can, pick and choose, and what's in it for me? That's not righteous. But we all have avarice. I desire. And sometimes I'm going to push my way through whether you like it or not. That's ana sorcery. You don't respect free will and to ask. They might give it to you, but you don't care. You're going to get it anyway. It's still around. Okay, so God is set up the template. You know, let's get to the real issue. I'm fighting for the pueo in Honolulu for $15 billion of development that is extinguishing my family's aumakua pueo nui that is connected to Ku. And the Ku is Pele Ihulani's father, who is called pueo nui. So I do ava ceremony with the pueo. And you call it with your mind and it comes, especially at night. At night is the big-legged one, the one that stands 6 feet. So you go out and you call and it comes. If your intention is wrong, you're going to have to drop and you're going to have to put your face down. If your intention is right, you can talk to the pueo with your mind. Okay? It's what's the purpose, what's the need, what's the end game. Guess what? That is my world. You destroy my world. You leave nothing for me. It's a broken glass of an existence. That is the reason why we fight. It's because my mother's grandfather took me at 4 years old to train me as a kohuna, and he had the world of Kanaka in his icebox, palu, limukohu, lipoa, poi, opihi, chili pepper water. You open that ice box, you want to throw up because of the palu, you know. Ugh. But you know the health of the ocean when you walk there and you smell the sweetness of the limu. The more sweet and more pungent, the more healthy. And it's the waiha of God, the water of life, that makes the limu wake up and bloom in billions of metric tons, which in wintertime, the Naulu rains bring in the nehu fish because the spattering on the water and the nehu come, and the bigger fish go after the nehu, the ulua, aholehole. And that's when the fishermen go out because all work together, kokua, akua. So in this process of us being created with an intention of God and a mission, he already knew his creation was going to get busted, because he put the cure to the bustedness and seeded it from the beginning. That's God. God is the greatest surfer in the world. And what do I mean by that? He rides with his feet, not a board, on man's thoughts. And he sees all the evil thoughts, and he does this plan, and evil sniffs the kaona. They smell him like the seaweed, and they go to destroy his plan, and he smiles because he's just riding everybody's thoughts, because he's the uncreated creator. And so as he writes, Jehovah God, Kiokua I'o, that's him. And he's writing it, and then he sees these thoughts, and what he does is he pivots his foot. He just pivots. And what that pivot is, the evil people get this thought they think is theirs, and they see the possibility of avarice, and they want to go after it, but they don't know the unintended consequence of that thought. And it goes God's way in their evil wish. So the brokenness that you see here now is the brokenness that he knew was coming. Papa Bray, master hula chanter on Big Island at Keoho, there's a natural lava flow, pahoihoi lava, that created 8 islands exact of our 8 islands. That's his temple where he meditates. Papa Bray passed on back in the 80s. But he said in his meditation, he saw that one day the whole world would look to Hawaii for all the problems. Keakua knew what was going to come up in the grave of lust and greed and all the heva intention as he's riding the wave, and he's smiling because no matter what they do, it's going to come out his way. So you can't have hope if you don't have trust. It don't exist. The two are married together. So if you don't trust in God, you can't have faith that it's going to work out. So Keakua seeded everybody's genealogy. He put in the thoughts, you see that girl over there? Oh, Putin, go over and comfort her. He wanted the baby, okay? I don't care how the baby was going to come. He wanted the baby. So he is building the living heiau of human stones and intentions to be the wall of protection of his plan, and he's surfing. So he's not the absentee landlord, just to let you know, okay? He's not the absentee landlord. So in 2009, in the summer, in my prayer, he said, you're going to be in the Mauna Kea case. I said, Mauna Kea? What's happening up at Mauna Kea? He said, you're going to be called to testify to the sacred space below Mauna Kea. Huh? You're going to talk about mo'o. You're going to talk about ka'ai. You're going to talk about the waterfall. You're going to talk about how the caves are like the nostril, the two nostrils in your nose, and how that water makes the fishery blossom because the limu brings in the fish, and the more limu you have with more fresh water, the bigger the fishery. And because even here, Chanel, who was supposed to read this? Did you ask her to? Okay. So do we have the microphone thingy? Okay. Yeah. Okay. This is just to show you. This is dated for Kauai Waimea here, Kauai, January 20th, 1840, Kamehameha III's reign. Now, this is really an experience to listen to this, because we're going to time travel back and forth. And then we're going to hop into the future, because the kingdom is coming. And Keakua gave me some heads up.
Okay, translation, Waimea Kauai, January 20th, 1840. Love to you, Kauikeo Uli. I have seen in your law book on page 18 some words as follows. Those persons who seek after wisdom in all the country places of these islands, whose petition has come before me, or my ministers, and we are satisfied that it is all right, then these words shall belong to the government. Where art thou, am I one, in the out-of-the-way places, who has written to you? Some of the subjects of our land here on Kauai are in grief. This is one of the reasons of their grief, about the small fish in the rivers and the streams. The lunas have classed them the same as the fish of the breakers at the reefs, and AVAKonohiki has tabooed the shrimps, another the mudfish, another the aholehole, and another the mullet, in the same river, and likewise all of the fish in some of the rivers have been tabooed. And there is no place where the poor people can have hopes of doing your work or of their konihikis. My thought is that all rivers from Mauka to the sea should be free, no taboo, no dispute. This is mine. Here is this question to you. Did you say to the tax officers that they consider what is proper for the land, and that they, after due consideration, make their decision the same effect as your laws? If that is what you did, then we have no other king. They are the only kings. Here is another. The law which you have gave the konihiki to taboo things for themselves is a straw included in said grant. The straw for making mats here and on Niihau has been tabooed. How can the people there sit their bodies aside for the yearly tribute? This is a very hard law, because in some parts of the land here, the pandas leaves are taboo. It is impossible for the poor man to make his house. The how is the same in some places. Here is another. Is it for the tax officers to try persons for adultery or any other offense? Your land here is in a disorder because of the drinking of tea and potato and watermelon. You had better strictly prohibit this. Your Aunt Emilia is sick, the complaint being that of swollen glands, but is better. She also has a spirit sickness, but that is all right too. I have a great love for Abraham these days. Where art thou, your majesty? You do everything you can for your kingdom now. You conduct yourself properly before the chiefs and before the people. You advise them so that your kingdom will flourish and you will prosper while you are here. Love to you from S. Whitney.
Mahalo. This sets it up. 1840. The more things change, the more they stay the same. First point. Even when the kingdom was the kingdom, Puhiva, Pilikia, Kamaha. So even under the greatest king of Hawaii, who in 1840 said, we got to make a change. If my people are not taken care, we will lose everything. So he created the great Mahele, which Keokua doesn't call it that. He calls it the Covenant of Halawa, because he said, you are the land that I created for my purpose, for the world. And each successive generation pushes it closer on the shoulders of the next. Context of the bigger picture of what the struggle has been from the beginning, from the power structure to the people's welfare. Kamehameha III came up with the conclusion, the only way to safeguard my people is to make them sovereign. All kings, all queens. And in their sovereignty, they control as sovereigns, fully and absolute. That is the great Mahele. And that is what Ana Allodial means, that you're not under the penalty of any pains of taking away your land because of liens or anything. You are sovereign. Now, as was brought up just a little while ago, in the Rights of Man in Kamehameha III's Constitution, broken up in the Mahele, Maka Ainana, the common people, Konahiki Ali, and Mo'i. Kamehameha III said, I got this land from my father, absolute. I was not forced to give up my rights. I do it for the people. Nobody put a gun or a guillotine to my head to force me. As absolute ruler for my people, I will become a constitutional monarch. I will take the 4.2 million acres and make all my subjects kings and queens, sovereign unto themselves forever. And the word inure from Bouvier, not Black's dictionary, is that your interest can never be extinguished. So all the land is still there. Let's jump to Queen Liliuokalani. She's at the table with the president across. They're playing poker. The dealer is Keokua. And the three branches of government is also playing at table. Maka Ainana, Konahiki Ali'i, everyone is playing at the table, and God is dealing out the cards. So I gotta tell you this, the card game is still going on. Absent the chair for the executive, absent the elite, but the Maka Ainana never left the game. And I'll tell you how it's right in front of you, and the state acknowledges it. But they do it, there's implicit and explicit. Article 1, Section 1 of the state constitution says we have the right to make laws in Hawaii because the people. They leave out allodial land tenants because those are the guys still at the table. And as you can see, through Keokua's truth, their lies to divert with the shell game can be hulied at any time when you stand up and be the parent and don't let others tell you what to do. And the key of the knowledge and wisdom of power is the truth that you lay down the foundation and stand on, given to you by Keokua. They will send the jackbooted thugs. They'll send the helicopters, the guys with the guns and the jackets, because the truth threatens them so much. They will try to intimidate. But you hold your ground and say, based on what? You have the lie, I have the truth. The truth will burn through all your lies because all this intimidation just shows me how frightened you are. And you can sense today and yesterday how scared the fake state is. They know their time is coming up. You see, the United States, in its allodial titles, This will be a shock to everybody in the United States. They're only sovereign through the government of the United States, not individually. So when they buy property, it's not their property, it's the government, and the government just lets you play. And the bank, what you do for your mortgage is your renters for a debt to play on the land that doesn't belong to you because it's for the United States debt. So you don't own nothing forever. Allodial titles by Kamehameha III makes you sovereign, not the government. So the 13 colonies fought for the right to own land and the right for taxation without representation. They wanted representation. In the end, the corporate United States that was around before the constitutional United States won. And who's the corporate? The red dragon of the grave of lust and greed. Keakua knew it was coming in the world. Keakua knew it was going to pilau the world. For their water rights, they'll screw everything. The ocean, everything. The mullet, you see, the fish. They're trying to divide Kauai from the north to the south by saying Kanakas are the cause. And they are the cause because of poor water management, because they know nothing about how Keakua's process works. The rain comes in, especially in October from the breakers. All the mist goes up the mountain, condenses, and our endemic plants with their big paws causes the dew to drop. By 2 o'clock, the clouds form and rain again. More rain, more abundance. I'm not a capitalist, a communist, or a socialist. I'm a Konohikiist. A Konohikiist, in my definition, is how to increase and expand the abundance for everyone without collapsing the center. And that's God's center. Kahuna Omaka, observe nature and its protective mechanisms of its web, and you don't pull out what does not need, no unintended consequences. Okay. So this is all part of the original, Star Trek has they have the prime directive. Kanakas have a prime directive of God, they don't even know it. So they were taught all of this. It was asked to me, on my land, I got back, what should I grow? I said, go back to your ancestors and find out. What do you mean? Native testimony, foreign testimony, native register, foreign testimony. They volley out what they're planting. They give you the list. And that's when it was good 170 years ago. Yeah? No more pollution, no Monsanto and all that crap. And no more DLNR to go up and not ask anybody and destroy, defoliate stuff, poison rats, they killed a pueo and stuff, as if they didn't go to 8th grade biology on how the cycle works, morons. So this fight, when you get down, see, a lot of us carry the burden of our world being destroyed. But you got to get real. Because my tentacles, my octopus keeps on reaching out and got to know. So I had to know the other end game, because you have to set this in perspective. Why are we fighting so hard about our world when Keakua can bring it back? Human beings, pueas, he's the creator of all things. So what are we fighting for? I mean, you got to get this straight. You got to understand what it is you're fighting for. Because is it to protect God's creation? Well, have you heard of multiverses? They're like a billion universes, and he can bring back pueos anytime. It's not about the pueo, the shark, the ocean, and all of this stuff. So why did he teach us if it's not about all this stuff? It's a test of character. It's the no-win scenario. Everybody's been there in life. No matter what you do, you're going to lose. And your family's going to help a lot make you lose. They're the greatest sabotagers in the world. It's just that way. It's just being human. So when you're up against the world and everybody's against you and you pray to God, it doesn't seem like he's listening and you're cursing him and you want to set the world on fire to say thank you. Anybody who's been in life knows this is all real and true. So he's telling me to say, relax, Jack. The fighters, he confounds the fighters who love to get in the fight. And he says, stand down and trust in me and wait for me. That's not what we do. You're going to drive me crazy. He says, I know, you got to get over yourself. You're too self-indulgent. And the non-fighters, the non-starters, he says, you got to step up. Oh, I don't like people throw rocks at me and stuff like that. I'm so uncomfortable with talking. I cannot speak about it. So no matter who you are, the test in life is what you're weak at. My weakness was pain. He said, oh, we got to take care of that. I'm going to put you in hell for 10 years, like third-degree pain every second, so that you get over that. And the answer to that of I don't like pain is I'm going to send you to hell. And you're going to discover you can enjoy hell. Are you kidding me? I was the department chair of Damien High School and teaching my kids all your stuff. Oh, no, you find out you're not enough. What you need to be is more than you think you are. So we're going to work on it. Oh, God. Yeah, that's right. So I ended up losing everything, going to hell, and the tears were nonstop. And I took third-degree burn medications, 10,000 milligrams of Neurontin a day, which is like 300,000 a month. What I was taking would put anybody into a catatonic coma, yeah? Because that's what my fear was, that high, that I needed the medication because my brain was burning it all up. So I go to Manua, which for you guys don't know is Ta'u in Samoa. And I do it November 17, 2002. They tell you on Manua, do not touch the shells there, you will die. And what they don't tell you, because some say, oh no, you can pick up the shells, the dead shells, but they don't talk about the living shells. So it's, hey, what is it, living, dead? So we fly down in Olosenga, and being a cultural practitioner, I love coupe. So the right moon comes out, the cap goes on 2 o'clock in the morning, the slippers, and I'm going out with my bag looking for coupe, and there's 10 bajillion coupe out there because they don't, I'm going, that should have been a sign. Why aren't they touching the coupe? That should, for a smart person, Kahuna Omaka, that sign should have been, why is there 10 bajillion coupe out here if it's so good eating back where we are? There's a difference now between there and here. So subtle. And then I see the god coupe, mother of pearl. Oh my God. You would look good on a chain right here. So that becomes my desire, you know, my precious. I got to go after my precious because nobody has that. And it's so human. Yeah, my desire, I'm going to get you. So I pick it up and it's like, ah. I put it down and then I go, it stung me. Boom, in the ocean. Had I not fallen backwards, this meeting would not have taken place. 5 hours I'm sleeping in the ocean. It would have killed any normal person that was not on a neural inhibitor that would kill somebody. It just put me to sleep, floating in the ocean. That was by design. Because the coupe was gone, so was my hat, my slippers, my bag, and everything. And my friends coming down as the sun's coming up with their diving gear. Hey, when did you get here? 5 hours ago. I've been sleeping in the ocean all night. And the tide didn't come in and take me out to sea, and I'm 10,000 miles floating, getting up, oh my God, you know. So there's a purpose for everything, is what I'm saying. And it's not random. So what I'm saying is God is saying, yes, I call each of you and I put a flame of you from me in you to accomplish this chorus, yeah? But know that Article 1, Section 1 of the state constitution, you hold up the state. And any minute you can take it back, and I'll show you how, and I'll show you how they work. The Kamaka brothers were fighting for Waihona, their land and water rights, 5,000 acres. The oldest son ended up in prison. That's the tactics to shut you down that they do. And they had the Mahele books, Judge Samuel King, the greatest crook, for the federal government, took the book. AMFAC was fighting and gave it to AMFAC. That's a clear violation, yeah? And so when all of this went through, they just wanted their Mahele book back. AMFAC needed clearance because the water rights in Eva for the sugarcane and stuff went through them and the state. So they needed the brothers to sign because they're admitting what the brothers have said all along, which is the truth. When I was a kid, uncles always said they stole our land. They didn't say how, when, why. Okay, I got all that information right here. Okay, all true. Going back to the Kamaka brothers, they got the 5,000 acres back eventually. But the big dog was the water rights. What we just read, the water rights. Where there's water, there is life, especially in the Aupapa. So AMFAC needed clearance, and they were going to pay anything to the Palapala signature. They said, we just want our Mahele books back. The judge violated protocol by giving the evidence to the opposing side, which they kept. So all they wanted was that, I don't care about millions, give me my sovereignty proof back, because I am sovereign, and that shows. Okay, that's the ownership of car. The car is the fake state, and they stole it, and they're using it for their purpose without paying your family. That's injurious, cumulative injurious harm, continuing right up to date, because there is no rent, there is no penalty, there is no back payments or anything, and my family has suffered for 130 years because you're sucking everything out of it, okay? That's real and true. So they get the books back and finally make the case, and they're in the meeting with the Attorney General, because this tells you the apex of what really goes on behind closed door and how the power structure of the big red dragon works. So they're there, and the Attorney General said, you're right. You made your case. We know what you say is true, but where's your army? Who's going to enforce what is real and true in the law? Because the state passes law and never follows it. You got to take them to court. Go get your money tree, and don't count on Native Legal Corp, because they pick and choose their anchors, which is illegal. They pick and choose who? Because they got lawyers that are only good here and there, and they're supposed to be paid for everybody. And no. Call up, can you anchor our case? Happened to me. So sue me, please, Native Hawaiian Legal Corp. So I'll take you to court and show what you really are. So, by the way, I'm poor anyway, so take my nothing. You can have all of it, you know. Burn out all your time and lose all your money and get nothing in the end. So in this process, the state admits to this day, whether it's Mauna Kea or anything, where is the army? Because Article 1, Section 1, it's you who own everything. And what they give you, and it goes right through society, you own the car and you cry out to the thief. And this always happens. Yeah, someone cockroaches your land, just got off the plane yesterday. And what they either do is sell the land you're on, or they take the land that's not theirs, and they get it. And the state backs them up, and everybody backs up for TMK. So the state, everybody is the crooks feeding off the carcass of your land. And at any time you can get it back, and I'll show you how. Because I'm going to tell you how Keakua said how, not what my opinion says how. So that is the template of the power structure of the pushback on their side. And Keakua is smiling, because it's done already. We're not even there, it's done. And everybody in there now is feeling it as we get closer to his bake sale. You know, when the souffle is up and ready to serve, bing, it's served, okay? And we're getting there really fast, and everybody in there now is itching and knows something's going on. I can feel it, okay? So let's help you define the feeling. I got the feeling already. So in this Mauna Kea case, Keakua said, you're going to testify to all of these things, and you guys are going to lose in the contested case hearing. You're going to lose because it's juice. The lady's getting paid $250,000 to come to the. Who pays her? Who's her master? So this is a door to get to the state Supreme Court. So you're going to the state Supreme Court, and you're going to lose. I said, well, why are you telling me this? It's because you're educating everybody in the process. So it's not the end game, it's the process. Because that makes everybody grow up and become mature. Because Keakua said, this is what I ask my babies. I'm Heavenly Dad, my people I created. And it's so simple and biblical, it gives me chicken skin. Tell my people, all I want from them, easy lift. Take care of yourself. Be good to yourself. Take care of yourself. Do the right thing for the right reason. Because I want you around. Your Heavenly Father loves you. So please take care of yourself. When you master take care of yourself and not abusing yourself, take care of your family. Because now you've mastered you. And now you get full up, you can give the water to your loved ones. So take care of your family. And when you master that, take care of the land of Halawa I gave you. Because you have a purpose with me in every generation to complete. Yeah? So you do these things, father, mother, child, past, present, and future. And then you're makua. You don't let the others be your parent. you're the parent because you know how to take care of yourself. You know how to take care of your babies. And now for the benefit of your babies, you take care of the land for the well-being of Ohana, and you teach others. This is very kiakua. It's very simple and it's very doable. Don't abuse yourself because you're my beloved, and from you comes more of my beloved, and don't hurt yourself. So he said, well, this struggle, there's a lot of kue out there. He says, tell them, do it in a prayerful, holy manner like Queen Liliuokalani. Do not spit poison. Because when you spit at my children. You're all my children. So you have to navigate by a holy manner. You got a question, take it up with the boss on the cross. Take it up with me. I am the creator, created, that is telling you, this is what I ask, and you can do. All of you can do. Step up. Step up. So he was saying to me, if my Ohana, I'm doing cultural practice up here and I try to set this stuff up and get all screwed up. He showed me a couple of years ago the notice of preservation and vested hereditary undivided lineal interest of title from DLNR that they don't tell, because this outs it and ends everything. This is the foundation of cause of your standing, okay? So he said this about the kingdom and what he's been working on. And it's on YouTube. I think it's January 17, 2017. He said, tell him that I'm the one who put Donald Trump in office. He said, remember Adolf Hitler? I said, yes. I had to get my Jews to create the nation. It's in the book of Daniel. They didn't want to do it. So Adolf Hitler came and chased them out of Europe back to where it was supposed to be to create the nation on my time. He said, you cannot have a Hawaiian kingdom nation with half a nation. You have to be whole. So he said, like Joseph of Egypt, this man I put on to chase the Kanakas out of America. And I said, yeah, I know they went up there for bettering their life with their family, cheaper housing, better job, cheaper food, cheaper gas, better opportunity for the good of their family. Yeah, what you said, take care of yourself, take care of your family, but no more land. Okay. And what happens, they don't go to the ocean and their soul is dying because they're learning what it is to be Kanaka. And what is it to be Kanaka? Let me tell you, at any moment, your DNA can wake up and you can understand Kanaka and everything, as Auntie Alice said, incoming. And people go, what do you mean incoming? It's coming in from Heavenly Father. And at any time, you're totally Kanaka. So don't worry about it. Everybody comes home stressed. Where's the tutus? Where the aunties? They're all dead. And at the time they were there, I never asked. And then, no, I got nothing. No, at any time, it can turn on. So we go back to the source of what his plan is. And he said Donald Trump will be 7 years, he's going to bring back that prosperity, whether people like it or not. But this is the setup. You set the pins up and then you knock them down. 7 years of famine is going to come. Donald Trump's going to have a second term and he's going to be killed before his second term in a manner that is so horrific, like a dirty bomb that'll kill 40,000 people and the most powerful man in the world to show the world you ain't powerful. You can spend $4 trillion like that, the biggest army in the world like that, and you can't even protect the most important person with all the money in the world. Who's in charge? Wake up call. We didn't come up to the mainland to become extinct. We're flying with the red dragon, chasing the dragon. So all of a sudden, we got to go back home, going backwards. So Keokua said, get on YouTube and put, I'm a researcher, not a lawyer, even though I prosade and took down the $1 billion attorney because I listened to God. He said 3 things: the water that makes the fishery grow, the limu grow and brings in the fishery. Your iwi kupuna, buried in the marina entrance channel, water, fish, marina, and there was one more thing, water, fish, marina, oh yeah, the limo. The fresh water running underneath, the connectivity to everything. His. That doesn't sound like much, but the evil Deutsche Bank that was funding the $1 billion, I jumped into the court case of the shrinkage. It's Michael Lee versus William Ayla. So we will forgive William Ayla. I believe in Nelson Mandela. We will have a pu'u honua moment when it comes, and you got to accept the responsibility for the heva, and then you say, sorry, everybody, I won't do it again. Accept it. So what happened was Keokua set out the plan, and all you have to go is on the legal document thing for lawyers for Hawaii and cut and paste and footnote. So you're not plagiarizing. So I knew it was a losing battle, but I was showing Deutsche Bank, and by the way, I went through and cost them $6.4 million as informer properist. I'm poor, but you're gonna get the bite in your pocketbook where it hurts the most. Follow the money, the red dragon, okay. So I knew I was gonna lose, but you know, when you play chess, you gotta sacrifice the rook or sacrifice the queen to win the war. And most people don't look at it that way. The worst thing they do is, I'm gonna outfox you with my brain, lose already, because you don't know how the interconnectivity is. So if you go God's way, you win. Because when you lose, you win. So I lost and I won the war. Lost the battle, win the war. Most people win the battle, lose the war, and it still goes on. Why? The template is not perfect. Past perfect, future perfect, perfect, perfect. So all I had to do was threaten Deutsche Bank and bite $6 million off of that when Joseko tried to collect this 8-year legal battle and put it on me as a nuisance that I should pick up the bill, being poor. Take my nothing. So the bottom line was, Judge Rhoda Nishimura said, and I said, look, I sued them 3 times and I won because I'm not a nuisance. I'm protecting my interest under the law. Joseko, you shall not collect from Mr. Lee. Right up to the Supreme Court, okay? So I was just decreasing their income. So as the secretaries at DLNI said, whoa, you cost Joseko plenty money, okay? So it was never, the sacrifice was to jump on the boat and show my work product to Deutsche Bank saying, I'm gonna take 10 million more of your profit if we keep on going, because I have standing forever. They got it. In 1 year of the case, they said, Joseko, come up with plan B. No more marina. 10 years, 7, what, 1, 2, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 4 years before I lose in the Supreme Court, I already won. No more marina. They backed off because I listened to God, and he was the one, give glory and praise to Heavenly Dad, who did the case. And I witnessed to that reality in front of you and all of you guys out there. So it's possible to do the impossible only with Keokua. Yeah? That's where the possibility comes. Why? He's the true mo'i. If you made it, you own it. And we're just the creation, we're part of the made it, not the owning it. Try and put your hand over the land for 10,000 years. See what happened to your hand. You can't hold on to land that was never yours in the first place. That was only sharing his love. And you never get them. Yeah, it's for free. So, simple. So, mahalo keokua. So, you got to orientate it correctly to get the compass right. A lot of people tell you north is north, and it's not. Just because you say so, don't make it so. You know? You got to keep the compass and perspective on line. Not my line, his line. That's the only reason I can stand here and not be face down in Olosenga, rotting in the ocean. Because he had a purpose to float in the ocean. But to wake up, ELA. So this is leading to his place. Okay, let's get into dates, because we are inquiring minds and we want to know. So with all this stuff, this part is I'm not going to blame it on Keokua. It's what inside of me, Mana'au says. So could fall off, could fall on. But in the prayer life, and what he's telling me feels like whenever this case goes to the Supreme Court, And this is how it's going to work on his side. So I'm not going to speculate here. I'll just drive his tractor so you know when the time is. The tractor is when it goes to the Supreme Court and they give the okay for Mauna Kea, it must be. It must be. That's the beginning of the end of the state. It's going to crack the state because that's the only subject all Kanakas can agree upon. Like cats, we go every which way. So God reads us like a pane of glass, can see through all of our intentions. So he knows Kanaka's hearts because he created them. So this is the push, because he said, I put them to sleep, I'm going to wake them up. So when the drills go up to Mauna Kea to drill the 7 stories down, Mo'inanea is going to come up and go after, because her plan, protecting her Niaupio husband, Lono'api'ilani, he's buried up there. I put the GPS where he's buried and where the waterfall is and his ka'ai, and why Tutu Mo'inanea, his Niaupio's sister, is protecting him, because they had kids. Yeah? She's going to go after the bulldozers, and this is the moment that wakes up all Kanakas, what is real and true. For what has been said forever, we are a spiritual nation. Look at all of our oles, and that's what Keakua affirmed in our creation, both everything on us and around us, and our essence being. You are a spiritual being, not religious, but spiritual, okay? And what he said was, mahalo, what he said was, as a spiritual being, you will be affirmed. It will snap that this is, everything is real. And as you know, the Dakota pipeline, what happened there, everybody showing up there, it will be 10 times bigger. Because all Kanakas will be on the same page. And Article 1, Section 1, the Army has arrived. It'll crack the Constitution, rip it in two, because the owners of the land, never extinguished, are showing up. They're the armies. The United States has always said we're an exceptional nation. We're so exceptional that we're not like Putin taking over the Crimea. Ha! Okay, like Hawaii isn't its own independent sovereign. Ha! But this is how God is going to expose the lie that has been holding Hawaii and wake up everybody. The state does not have enough human beings to arrest 100,000 people. They do not have enough porta potties. They do not have enough sandwiches. They do not have enough overtime. So what does that tell you about the state when the army shows up to claim what has always been there, their sovereignty? What happens is they're a tissue, like toilet tissue. It tears in the wind. No power, paper tiger, because they can't hold on to what they claim is theirs. There's no bill of sale, allodial title. Yeah, forever. They don't own it, they can't hold it. And when the army shows up, Keakua says, all my people need to do is say you're willing to be responsible for those 3 things and your land. I will take down the world. Because it's me against the world at that point, because you're good to go. You're ready to go. He don't have to wait another 40 years for you to wake up. So he said, I will take care of the United States, China, and the EU at one time. That's my lift. Your lift is to take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of the land, and treat each other in a godly way. Love God above all things and love your neighbor as yourself. The other groups are not talking about this because it's not Keakua-centric. It's egocentric, so it collapses on its own. You're already the kings and queens. You're already the sovereigns. It's a matter of saying enough is enough. It's gone. It's ended. When God sent Moses at 82 to give the message, and they came back and said to God, we don't like slavery for 400 years. So he said, what's your problem? Get out. Use those funny things, the little stubs called legs, and move. Anytime you want, and you don't want to be a slave, use those things called leg and move. Just help me, carry me. Well, I gave you legs so you can move. You don't have to wait for anybody. Just go. You don't like it, get out. That's how simple it is. But you have to have the confidence, because the lie, like they chain the elephant when it's a little baby to a chain, and it knows it cannot move. They take away the chain, the elephant won't move, but psychologically, it's still chained. But there's nothing holding it. The Kanaka people are chained in the mind. That's the only thing holding, because they don't believe in the truth. No hope if you do not trust. It's connected together. So, Keiko said, file the paper, and by the way, it was Xeroxed all night, so it can be PDF to anybody who wants the PDF of it. And you go to Bureau of Conveyances, you ask for it. I don't know what you're talking about. You have to actually show them. So what I did, I practice what I preach. I did it. And this was for Pupukea Royal Patent Land for my cousin. And so in this has all the work done for you. I'm a researcher, not a lawyer. This is a disclaimer. I'm not giving legal advice. In my research, I'm just sharing it with the people to use their akamai smarts to pick and choose how they perceive this is in their best interest for their children and themselves. Okay, now we get that away, because they're going to try to arrest me for giving legal advice, and I'm not a lawyer. But God, the great lawyer, he's the one that gives the advice. So try and arrest and put the cuffs on him. So it's there for you. We're here to pass on God's, you can do, because he said they got to come back to something. There's got to be the bait. You see, again, it's this way. You're looking for the outcome, but actually it's the process. Relationships from kid time is what's important. That's what makes you grow. And become the parent is the process. Oh, I got a baby. Oh my God, I got a baby. That little thing depends on me. And if I believe the baby going to die, that's the process. Not the end game. The baby's 45, he can do it himself, but he's still hanging on to me. Okay, the process, yeah? It's all about the process. The end game is okay, sweet, but the greatest part was the growing part of the process. So in Keakua's plan of all the stuff you can read for yourself, we did the research, we put the laws, we built the whole thing. So you put it in WordPerfect, cut and paste, throw out my stuff, put in your stuff. You certify your stuff and you put it in, done. And all they want to do, in 6 weeks, you get a stamp. And they have collected your testimony to the truth of undivided, hereditary, you are it, you the people. Who's the people? You the people. So the reason why the state is making laws is tacit approval. You don't know, you're the people that they're talking about. Implicit, implied, and explicit, nail them. Ground 0.0, okay?
Uamau ke au ka Aina I ka pono Hawaii Malama ia Na iwi Pulama ia Na Uamau ke o lau ka